Hello everyone, welcome to our Hatha Yoga session. My name is Michelle Chua. I'd like to ask you to grab a blanket or a beach towel, something that can provide some cushion that you can open wide for your knees later on. And then just set that aside and let's start. You may also want to grab a couple of blocks as we start on our backs in a gentle hip opener of Supta Baddha Konasana, supine down to angle pose. So that's where you bring the soles of your feet together and bend your knees apart. And if you find that your thighs are lifting uncomfortably away from the floor, that's where you can set those blocks just underneath your outer thighs for support at whatever height of the blocks. Take a moment here to shimmy out your hips, move your pelvis gently, and just feel your sacrum getting a gentle massage onto the ground. So the area of the lower back is going to be a big focus today. As we talk about Svadhisthana chakra a bit more, I was inspired by our earthing and yoga by the ocean yesterday, and how we called on the quality of water to help us to feel a state of flow. So here's a quote from Rise, Sister Rise by Rebecca Campbell. Your body has wisdom, memories, lifetimes locked in it. Those of your own and those of all the ancestors that have come before you in your direct lineage and beyond. The more you sway, swing, circle, move, and shake, the more you unlock, unfurl, unwind, unbind. The more you let your body move the way it longs to move, the more free you will feel. Let movement be your soul's medicine. Let the Shakti that is coiled within you rise and spiral free. So Shakti can be defined as feminine energy, or rather creative life force energy that is within us. And sometimes it can feel a bit stuck or muted when we don't give ourselves a chance to play, to be spontaneous, and to give moments of pleasure. And here's an interesting quote about pleasure from Wheels of Life, which is a book about the chakras. Pleasure invites us to expand, while pain generally makes us contract. Pleasure invites surrender, which is a necessary process for spiritual awakening. Pleasure helps the mind and body establish better communication. Through pleasure, we learn to relax and release tension. Now, while pleasure is a helpful quality, we also want to be aware of that mindfulness practice of non-striving. So we're not constantly seeking for one thing or the other, but we just invite it in and play with it a bit, especially in this hour. So as you're lying here now, I invite you to bring your mind's eye or your awareness to any place in your body where you might feel rather open or naturally free as a tendency, or perhaps even naturally pretty flexible. Noticing what part of your body you might feel very comfortable about. Maybe even place your hands there, wherever that might be. And I invite you to deepen the breath, starting in that region. So visualize breathing into that area through which you might draw a sense of confidence and strength. And then as you open the mouth, just like Luke is demonstrating for us now, make any sound. You can bark if you like. Try a few more breaths, inhaling, maybe a little bit slower. Start to expand beyond the area of focus in the body, and then any sound, unpack, let it go. And on your own, a couple more, releasing exhalations through the mouth. You can hum, make a sound that's completely spontaneous. And you can laugh. It's a wonderful way to unstuck and to feel a sense of pleasure and play. That which brings vibrancy to the energy center of Svadhisthana chakra, located in the area of the sacrum, as well as the lower belly, just above the base of the spine. Second main energy center. And then now, as you place your hands in that region, just a couple inches or so below your belly button, let's breathe into there as we chant the seed sound or bija mantra of this energy center, which is VAM, V-A-M, 3 times. So we use the chanting as well to create some resonance, some vibration in the body. It can be soothing to the nervous system, as well as helping to lengthen the breath. So right into that lower belly, lower back region, take a deep inhale to prepare. Pausing a moment to perhaps dedicate your practice to someone or something meaningful to you. And let's ease into Ujjayi Pranayama, breathing in through your nose slowly, breathing out through your nose just as slowly as you gently narrow the back of your throat, listening in on a subtle, smooth whispering sound through the breath. So as you hear that balanced rhythm of in and out breath, let's start to move to it. Inhale, slide your legs straight forward, arms overhead, catching hold of your left wrist, crisscross left ankle over right. Exhale, sweep your ankles and wrists over to the right like a crescent moon, opening the left side of your torso. Stay another full breath in and out, drawing the navel down towards your spine. Next, inhale, come back to center, uncross legs and arms, switch right ankle over left, hold the right wrist with the left hand. Exhale, slide your ankles and wrists over to the left like a crescent moon shape with your body. Take a full cycle of breath here, opening the right intercostal muscles of your rib cage. Send the right sitting or back of your hip onto the floor, your glute onto the floor. Lost my words there. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, bend your knees into your chest. Inhale, circle your thighs apart. Exhale, circle them together. Inhale, the thighs apart. Exhale, together. And then start to move the thighs just any direction. You can do them forward and back as if you're marching. You can do a crisscross. Breathe in. Breathe out, just feeling some massage into the lower back on the floor, as well as warming up your hip joints. Let's go for another 5 cycles of breath here. You can even let go of your legs and let them move freely. And maybe even start to dance the arms, sweeping one overhead and then the other. Again, just experimenting with whatever comes up here and just feels pleasurable in the moment as we play. How's your breath? And then let's come into happy baby pose, taking hold of your outer ankles or feet. Splay your thighs apart, parallel your feet to face the sky, and then draw your tailbone, shoulders, and head onto the ground. And if you like, you can rock side to side. A few breaths here. Imagine breathing into that width of your lower back. Couple more breaths. Beautiful. Draw your bent knees into your chest and start to rock and roll forward and back a few times. Start to build momentum. You might land your feet on the floor in front. You might swing the legs overhead, almost like plow. About 3 more cycles of breath rocking. And we'll eventually meet on hands and knees, all fours. And as you come down into hands and knees, spread your fingers wide, ground through the knuckles of your hands, knees a couple inches behind your hips. Preparing for cat-cow, inhale, draw your heart through your upper arms, roll your shoulders back, look up. Exhale, hollow your belly, tuck the tailbone, drop your head. Keep going, listen to your pace of breath. Next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Inhale, raise, right leg back. Exhale, rotate the thigh open, bend your right knee to the right. Take another inhale, tack the left outer hip back. And then as you exhale, step the right foot outside of your right hand, come into a lizard lunge. And then just here, just start to sway the hips to the right. Sway the hips to the left. You can be leaning on the pinky toe edge of your right foot flexed. Sort of like a boat that's rocking here in place. Couple more breaths, swaying the hips to the right and to the left. Okay, so stay leaning on the pinky toe edge of your right foot flexed. Draw your chest forward. Perhaps you explore coming down onto your forearms. You can also place them on blocks here. And let's take another 4 deep breaths. One more breath. If you're on your elbows, come on up to your fingertips and step the right foot inside of your right hand so your legs are hips distance apart. See your front knee stack just over the heel as you flatten the sole of your right foot on the earth. Inhale, sweep your arms up, overhead, drop the tailbone, hug the front ribs in, and then exhale, backstroke your arms and coil your chest up. Keep dropping the tailbone here. Inhale your arms forward and up, lift up through the sides of your waist. Exhale, backstroke the arms and coil your chest up. Last one. Breathe in to lift. And breathe out, backstroke, open the heart space. Then raising your arms overhead, keep your right foot firmly grounded. Use your right hand to catch hold of your left wrist. As you draw your shoulder blades down, lift up through the center of your spine. Take a deep breath. Keep your legs still and exhale, begin to side bend to your right. Let's take a few breaths, just exploring the range here. Couple last breaths. See that your right knee and middle toe are pointing straight ahead. All 4 corners of your right foot are grounded. And as you inhale, come back up to center using your right thumb. Hook the outer crease of your right hip, pressing it down. Feel that sense of stability at your pelvis as you inhale to stretch your spine forward to trace the midline of your mat. And as you exhale, draw in the belly and spiral your chest to face your right wall. Option 1, lower the left hand on the floor inside of your right leg. Option 2, hook the left elbow outside of the right thigh, and maybe use your right palm to press into the left palm as you continue to twist. Another 4 breaths. So feel how still and grounded your legs are. And as you inhale, draw your spine forward, send the shoulder blades down your back. As you exhale, draw in the belly and keep spiraling your chest open in the twist. rest. Let's take 3 more breaths. Let your eyes relax. Inhale, look down at your right foot. Exhale, plant your hands. Let's make our way into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths to play in your downward facing dog. Any kind of movement or non-movement, maybe sounds, through the mouth, for a few breaths. Start to find your way into a still Adho Mukha Svanasana. A few more breaths, spiraling the triceps towards the floor, rooting down to your base of the thumb and index fingers. Lifting your hips as you draw your heels heavily towards the earth. Even if they don't touch the floor, you can bend the knees in your mouth. 3 more breaths here as you steady your gaze with your sleep on one spot. Think of a giant cat pose in plank. So on an inhale, drop your chin towards your chest, scoop the belly and round forward into plank. Once you get the plank, flatten out the spine. And then on an exhale, glide forward, graze the elbows by your ribs, lower all the way down. Take a moment to crawl your fingertips outside of your mat, in line with your elbows. Press your toenails firmly into the ground so the knees are lifted, pelvis stays on the floor. And then inhale, rotate your right shoulder back, look behind you there. Exhale, lower your chest, come back down. Inhale, rotate the left shoulder back, look behind you there. Exhale, lower your chest, come back down. This time through center, inhale, rotate both shoulders back, spread the chest open, feel the weight of your pubic bone. And exhale, slowly melt all the way back down. Take 3 more breaths any way you want to dance your cobra pose. Maybe moving the head like you're shaking your head no or nodding your head yes. Or more abstractly. We're a bit flowy in our Hatha yoga practice, but we will start to find stillness. Just warming up here in the first part. Plant your palms flat alongside your floating ribs, tuck your toes. On an exhale, lift to hands and knees, all fours. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. Exhale, bend your left knee and turn the thigh open at the hip. As you inhale, draw your right outer hip back. And as you exhale, step the left foot lightly outside of your left hand, lizard lunge. So as you flex your left foot, roll to the outside edge, the pinky toe edge of the foot. And then just like a boat rocking in place on the sea, inhale, your pelvis sways to the left. Exhale, it sways to the right. Just on your own a few times here. Just allowing that gentle sway to bring some loosening into the sacrum and around the pelvis. Can you hear the sound of the ocean in your breath, in your Ujjayi pranayama? Inviting that quality of flow as you continue to flex your left foot. Now let's bring that flow into a more mental state of focus as we stay in lizard lunge about 5 more breaths. So if you like, you can lower onto your forearms. You might see how that feels, maybe placing them on blocks. Or not. Just experiment with how your body is telling you what it needs right now. One more deep breath. And then please place your fingertips on the ground. Step your left foot on the inside of your left hand so your legs are hips width apart. Stack your front knee right over the heel, pressing the four corners of the left foot on the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up to rise. Drop your tailbone, firm the belly in as you exhale to coil your chest up, backstroking your arms. 2 more times. Inhale the arms forward and up. Feel the sides of your waist lengthen taller. Exhale, backstroke, lifting your heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, backstroke. Now as you ground through both feet, raise your arms overhead and catch hold of your right wrist, and then root the left foot still as you breathe up through the center of your spine. Exhale, start to side bend to your left. Take this for a few more breaths. So notice how your left kneecap and middle toe continue to face forward. We're not rolling onto the outer foot here. Create a sense of hugging your midline. Let's take one more deep breath. Draw the navel in. Inhale, rise up. Use your left thumb to hook the outer crease of your left hip. Really draw that hip down as you extend your spine forward on an in-breath. Draw the belly and spiral your chest to the left. Choose to either lower the right hand inside of your left leg or hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Pressing left palm against right, continue to twist. Feel the stability through your roots, your legs, as you elongate your spine down the midline of your mat. Shoulder blades softening down your back. Exhale, continue to twist. Let's take another 3 breaths. Inhale, look down at your left foot. Exhale, this time step into your plank pose to pause for 3 to 5 breaths. Legs can be straight, actively pressing the inner heels back, or knees could be on the floor right under your hips. Stacking your shoulders right over your wrists, gaze at the ground just ahead of your hands, and feel your navel lift. Keep that lift and exhale, glide forward, graze your elbows by your ribs, lower through chaturanga, and flip into upward dog, or come all the way down for cobra, you choose. Take a deep inhale. Draw the belly in to exhale into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths here. Bending your knees. Look just past your hands, lift your heels and hips high, take a deep breath. After you exhale, hollow your belly, lift the pelvic floor, and walk or take a few light hops to the top of your mat. With your feet hips width in a forward fold, parallel your feet, bend your knees any amount needed. Press your fingertips on your legs or the ground ahead, and inhale, draw your heart through the gates of your upper arms. Exhale, fold in. Bending your knees here with your thighs just as wide apart as your feet parallel. Sink your weight toward your heels, maybe graze the floor with your fingertips. Let's take 3 breaths in this version of chair pose. So as you're raising your arms forward and up, draw the shoulders down and broaden your chest. Dropping the tailbone, hug in your front bottom ribs. One more inhale. Press through all of your feet and exhale, rise, join your hands at your heart. Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a variation of Surya Namaskar A. Bending your knees again. Inhale to the same kind of chair pose. Exhale, hinge forward, shift your weight towards the front of your heels. Press the ground or your legs. Inhale, lengthen forward. Plant your hands, float back into downward facing dog. Inhale, round forward like cat into plank pose. Exhale, glide forward and lower. You choose cobra or upward facing on an inhale. Exhale, lift your hips back. Downward facing, step your feet together. Inhale, sweep your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend that knee and rotate the thigh open at the hip. Inhale, tap your left outer hip back. Exhale, round through plank, bending right knee towards your nose to softly land the foot right between your hands. Spin the back heel down, align front heel to arch a back foot. Inhale, windmill your arms into warrior two. Flip your right palm to face up. Keep the front knee bent and exhale, lean towards your rear wall in exalted warrior. So left hand lands lightly on the left leg. Inhale, rise up, straighten the legs for triangle. Exhale, sweep your hips towards the rear of your mat, reaching the right hand forward and down onto your leg, or just to the right of it, left arm straight up. Inhale, sweep your left arm overhead, spiraling the tricep to face your left wall. Extended triangle. Stay here and exhale, spiral the chest slightly more to face the sky. Inhale, lower your hands, step into downward facing dog. Exhale, contract your belly, round forward into plank. Inhale in plank, glide forward. Exhale, lower, continue into cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Feet together, inhale, sweep your left leg back. Exhale, bend your left knee, turn open the thigh at the hip. Inhale, tack your right outer hip back. Exhale, bend left knee towards your nose, rounding through plank. Land the foot lightly between your hands. As you spin the back heel down, align the front heel to the arch of your back foot. Inhale, cartwheel your arms to rise into warrior two. Flip your left palm to face up, keep the front knee bent, and exhale, sweep it back towards your rear wall in peaceful or exalted warrior. Inhale, rise with arms open, legs straight, prepare for triangle. Exhale, glide your hips towards the rear of the mat, left hand reaching forward, down onto your leg, or just to the left of it, right arm up. Stay in triangle. Inhale, raise the right arm overhead, extended triangle. Wrap the tricep towards the right wall. Stay in triangle and exhale, spiral your chest slightly more towards the sky. Inhale, lower your two hands in downward facing dog. Exhale, round into plank pose. Inhale in plank, glide forward, slowly lifting the belly. Exhale, lower. Keep going into your version of your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Pausing in downward dog for 3 to 5 breaths. Rebalancing the sound of your breath. We'll wrap up the sequence and then we'll take it one more round in a continuous flow, just like we've been doing. So bend your knees, look forward. On empty breath, lift your pelvic floor as you walk or float to the top. Feet apart, hips width parallel. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sit in a variation of chair as you breathe in. Press through all of your feet. Exhale, rise, hands together at your heart. Now from the top again, one more. Inhale, back to that chair pose. Exhale, shift your weight forward as you fold. Inhale, press with your hands, lengthen forward. Exhale, step to downward facing dog. Inhale, round forward into plank pose. Exhale, glide forward and lower. Continue to cobra or upward dog. Next, exhale to downward facing. Bring your feet together. Inhale, sweep your right leg back. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate your thigh open at the hip. Inhale, tack your left outer hip back. Exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose, softly land the foot right between your hands, spinning your back heel down, align heel to arch. Inhale, cartwheel your arms, warrior two. Flip the right palm, exhale, sweep it back, peaceful warrior. Inhale, rise, straighten the legs for triangle. Exhale, shift, right hand forward and down into triangle. Inhale, extended triangle, sweep the left arm towards your front wall. Staying here, exhale, spiral your chest to face the sky. Inhale, touch the ground, downward facing dog. Exhale, round forward into fold. Inhale, plank, glide forward. Exhale, continue down into your vinyasa. As you arrive in downward dog, step your feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate your thigh open at the hip. Inhale, tap your right hip back. Exhale, bend the left knee towards your nose. Step the foot lightly between your hands. Align heel to arch. Inhale, cartwheel your arms, warrior two. Flip the left palm, exhale, sweep it back, peaceful warrior. Inhale, rise up, straighten your legs to prepare. Exhale, shift the hips back, lower the left hand, triangle. Stay in triangle. Inhale, sweep the right arm overhead. Exhale, spiral your chest towards the sky. Inhale, touch the ground, step back to downward facing dog. Exhale, round forward into plank. Inhale and plank, glide forward. Take it down into your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing for 3 to 5 breaths. Listen to the sound waves of your own breathing. And on your next exhale, hold the breath a moment while you walk or float. This time, bring your feet to touch. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold, let your knees touch. Bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, join your hands at your heart. Draw the left hip back and exhale, rotate your chest to the right, spiraling for 3 breaths into chair twist. You might hook the left elbow outside your right thigh, you might not. You might keep your hands in prayer, or you might open the arms. If you were to peek down at your knees, see that they're both at the same height, not one knee is protruding forward than the other. So you know you're helping to stabilize your lower back. Notice it's the energy of the jaw here, or the neck and shoulders. When you breathe some space into those areas, 2 last breaths. Look down, forward, inhale, unwind back to chair. This time, exhale, rise, lift your right foot off the floor, flex the foot so you're standing on your left leg. Take a moment to regain the balance in your hips, lower belly active. And then turn out your right thigh, coming into your version of tree pose, hugging the inside of your left ankle, keeping the right toes on the ground, maybe the inner calf, maybe the inner thigh. But I invite you to move your arms in some way. Whether you go up on an inhale and then down on an exhale, or you create some waves with your arms. Find a little bit of flow. I know it's a bit challenging to stay balanced, but play with that sense of challenge in your own degree. Got 4 more breaths here, just dancing the arms, maybe dancing the head. Dancing tree pose. How's your breath? Let's take one more breath. And exhale, step the right foot down. Set your left hand on your heart. Set your right hand just below your belly button. And pause as you take 3 slow breaths. Notice how you feel. Feel your feet touching each other. As you blink your eyes open if they're closed, bend your knees together to touch. Inhale into chair pose. Join your hands at your heart center. Send your right sitting bone back as you exhale to spiral your chest to face the left wall, breath by breath. You might hook the right elbow outside your left thigh or not. Perhaps the hands are in prayer or they're wide open. But if you were to peek down at your knees, see that they're in one line, stabilizing your sacrum. Another 3 breaths. Hatha Utkatasana. As you sink your hips a little lower, inhale, unravel your arms through center in chair. Press down to your right foot as you exhale to lift the left foot flexed, rising to stand. Just pause here for a moment. Find that rebalancing of left and right hips as you draw the navel in and towards your heart. Then turning out your left thigh, find your version of tree pose, setting the foot on your inner right ankle, calf or thigh. So as you feel that connection to your strong center line, play with a bit of flow in your upper body, like your arms, dancing them any spontaneous way as we take another 5 breaths here. One more deep breath in Vrikshasana. And exhale, set your left foot down. This time, let's step 1 foot back so you can face the wide width of your mat in a wide stance. Turn out your legs from the hips, bend your knees into a wide standing squat, like a horse pose. And just let your hips rock a little side to side. As you take a look at your knees, track them with your middle toes. Keep your knee joints safely aligned. Nice, and then bend both knees, sink the hips, lift your frontal hip bone slightly so you feel that support in the belly for your lower back. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms up, press the feet down to straighten your legs. And as you exhale, sweep your arms down to the right side, rebending the knees, bring the arms through center. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift the arms to the other side. Just making a circle with the arms. Exhale, bend the knees. Let's switch. Inhale the arms up that same side. Straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the knees, the arms down the other side. One more time. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms up. And exhale, down the other side. Keep the knees bent. And let the arms come together in front of you like a large clap. Exhale like your wings are opening, arms open. You might even close your eyes and just start to create a little more spontaneity in your movements. Become more organic in which direction you explore with your arms, with your head. Maybe bending one knee and then the other. Maybe lifting a foot and just playing with your balance. Maybe adding a little shake. So for another 10 cycles of breath. Yep, 10. Gonna make the music just a little bit louder so maybe it'll inspire some flow. Maybe facing a different direction. Ha! Any sound through the mouth. Ha! Last few breaths. Any kind of shake. Where might you feel the need to shake something out? Take your time. As you feel ready, parallel your feet in this wide stance. Bring your hands behind your lower back to clasp. Lift your heart as you inhale to look up. And hinge from your hips as you exhale to bow. Letting your head completely fall. Stretch your arms breath by breath away from your lower back. As you lift your shoulders up away from your neck. You might feel some pleasure shaking your head, nodding your head, making some faces, stretching the mouth. Let your weight shift forward towards the front of your heels. You can bend your knees any amount so your spine can feel really open and fluid, decompressed. Now placing your left hand across your lower back at your sacrum. Try to re-level the height of your two hips. Use your right hand and take it to the outside of your left leg. I'm mirroring here. So whatever that might be, your outer left thigh, your outer left calf or ankle. Now lengthen the top of your head forward. Take a breath there. And then try to keep the leveling of your hips as you exhale to twist to your left and fold towards your left leg. Optional to wrap the left arm behind your back and perhaps see if your left hand will reach hold of your inner right thigh, gently pressing the top of your right thigh towards your rear wall or the wall behind you. Let's take another 3 breaths. This next exhale, open the mouth wide, stick out the tongue. Lion's breath. Ah. Release both arms down in front of you. Come up halfway, pressing your fingertips on the floor or on props. Inhale the heart forward. You can bend the knees any amount. And this time place your right hand across your sacrum, re-leveling your two hips. Take your left hand and cross it to the outside of your right leg, anywhere it's reachable. And begin to spiral into a twist as you fold towards your right leg. Now notice the energy of your neck here. Is it trying to hold the head up? Just let the head fall. Let the neck be loose, let the jaw be loose. You might flutter the lips a few times. 3 more breaths. Lower your fingertips in front again. Come up halfway. Deep breath in. And heel toe your feet closer together until you can lower down onto your knees. So here's what, and then lifting your head slowly. Here's what we grab that blanket at the start for some variation of frog pose. If you've got anything going on with your knees, like some kind of injury, you might opt instead. You can also use the blanket to prop your pelvis on top of, to sit in Baddha Konasana like this. Soles of the feet together like we did lying down, and then folding forward. We're going to be here for 2 minutes, which I'll set the timer for in a moment. But if you are open to coming into frog, Mandukasana, go ahead and unfold that blanket so that it's still thick enough to support your inner knees, but wide enough to support both knees when you straddle the knees apart. So you might have to make that blanket really long and then fold it like a burrito. Make sure the creases are smoothened out so that you don't have discomfort where you place your knees. And then step onto the blanket with your knees. Now make sure you're doing this from your hip sockets, from your femur heads. Open up your inner thighs like you're doing that squat standing up, and then slide the ankles apart so that your knees are bent at 90-degree angles, like capital L's. Make sure that your knees and your middle toes are pointing out to your sides. And then see if you might use your hands to lift some weight off of one inner knee, and maybe that inner knee walks further out to the side, maybe the other one. We're not forcing it, we're just finding where we start here. And then you can keep your hands on the ground, you can place your hands on props, or you can come down onto your forearms. I'm setting the timer now for 2 minutes. Now see that your pelvis is in line with your knees as well. Pelvis is not forward or behind the knees. And without whatever gap is between your groins and the ground, imagine breathing into that area of your groins and just letting gravity help support the opening as you place yourself in the shape, and practice patience, that mindfulness attitude of patience with the breath. Now you might feel discomfort, but know the difference between discomfort and injurious pain. Not looking for the other. It's discomfort, so you can really find a place where you can sustain a sense of inner balance through your conscious breathing. Deep conscious breaths. Feel your jaw loosen. Relax the corners of your eyes. Your feet relax. Soften your palms. We've got 30 seconds left. Breathe. The Sanskrit name of this frog pose is Mandukasana. Last few breaths. You are seated in bound angle pose, and take your time lifting up, and you can extend the legs and shake them out. If you are in frog, slide into a wide-legged child's pose by using your hands, bringing them closer to your hips so that you're able to slide your heels towards each other until your inner edges of your feet touch. The knees a little closer together so you're able to sink your hips down to your heels and rest your forehead on the ground or your arms. And then pause for a few breaths. And right where you are, just creating that soothing vibration for your nervous system, let's take 2 chants of Vam. Again, seed sound of your sacral energy center. Vam. Deep breath in. Maybe aim that sound into the region of your sacrum. Vam. Vam. And as you're ready, let's let's gently make our way onto our backs. Please bring a block with you as you lie on your back. So taking 2 rounds of bridge, 1 active bridge and 1 restorative bridge. So use the block's skinniest width to hug right between your thighs. Bring your arms down by your sides and slide your feet back until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not. Parallel your feet as wide apart as your knees. Ground them in the backs of your shoulders. Put your chin slightly away from your chest, and when you're ready to lift into bridge, stay for your count of 5 to 10 breaths. Inhaling, tilt your tailbone up as you hug the block. Lengthen the front of your thighs forward. Breathing, your count of 5 to 10, walk your upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Keep the arms straight if your hands touch, maybe interlace the fingers. Feel the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings activate, as if, without actually doing so, dragging the heels towards your glutes. Counterbalance that with lengthening your tailbone towards the block. Feel the full expansion of your lungs here. And when you decide to come down from Setu Bandha Sarvangasana bridge, use a slow exhale to carefully lower 1 vertebra at a time, tailbone last. And at your own pace, when you have lowered your pelvis, take the block from between your thighs and slide it across your mat underneath your sacrum, the flat part of your lower back. You can have 1 or you can have 2 blocks stacked. Or you could use 1 block and tilt it to a different level. Just find a level that can comfortably support you. You might like to rest your palms face down onto your lower abdomen. Just tuning in physically into the sacral energy center region. Now a color is associated with each of the chakras, and with Svadhisthana, it is the color orange. We lie here for 5 to 10 more breaths. You might visualize the color orange in light form, radiating from your sacral area and throughout your body. So with that color orange, cultivate the healing tone of pleasure, of sweetness, as the root word svad in Sanskrit is associated with sweetness. Finish off 1 or 2 more deep breaths in this posture, supported bridge. And as you're ready, remove any props from under your sacrum. Gently lower your pelvis to the ground. Separate your feet wider than hips width apart. Separate your knees just as wide apart as your feet. Then drop both of your knees to the right side. Let your left knee trace down the midline of your mat. You might explore crossing your right ankle onto your left thigh just above the left knee and see how that feels as you open up the left side of your psoas. You might explore raising your arms overhead, catching hold of opposite elbows as you drop the arms back. Last 3 breaths here. As you're ready, step your feet onto the ground again, wider than hips width apart, separating your knees just as wide apart as your feet as you drop both of your knees to your left. Point your right knee down the center line of your mat. You might explore crossing your left ankle just on top of your right thigh above the knee. See how that feels on your right side of your psoas. And if your arms are overhead, perhaps switch the cross of the elbow on top. Notice if there's any part of your body speaking a little louder with sensation here. If so, you might imagine breathing back into it. Kind acknowledgement. Last 3 breaths. And as you're ready, uncross your legs, draw your bent knees into your chest. Maybe even lift the head and shoulders if you like, hugging in tightly. Just allowing a moment to genuinely thank yourself for spending this quality time in nourishment. Take a deep inhale. Hold the breath in. Open the mouth with any sound and splay your limbs onto the ground, finding your resting position for a few minutes of Shavasana. from wheels of life. The element of Svadhisthana chakra is water. Therefore, the chakra corresponds to bodily functions having to do with liquid, circulation of blood, urinary elimination, sexuality, and reproduction, as well as all the qualities of water, such as flow, formlessness, fluidity, and surrender. This chakra is the center of sexuality as well as emotions, sensation, pleasure, movement, and nurturance. Empty this breath completely. Inhale slowly, a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you breathe naturally, begin to move your body in your own way, gently, gradually out of Shavasana and towards a comfortable seated pose. Find a way to sit upright, anchored, as well as open. You may like to place your hands in Jnana Mudra, which is thumb and index finger to touch, or any way that helps you to concentrate. And then either close your eyes or gently steady your eyes on one spot, sitting for 5 minutes in meditation. So I invite you to contemplate on the gifts of a healthy sacral energy center. The ability to flow and adapt to the changes of life as they come. An openness to play and feel the freedom of your inner child. Ability to enjoy the sweetness of life, even during challenging times. Where in your life, what areas in your life might you invite more of this energy of creativity, of flow, surrender? Is there an area in your life where you could loosen the grip of some sense? Maybe allow some lightness, some humor. For these last 2 minutes, let yourself rest in an open space, feeling the kind of energy you've cultivated in your practice today. Let's bring the palms to meet at the heart as you bow in acknowledgement and gratitude of your own inner guidance. Closing our practice, let's join in one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.